Sustainability, is it just a buzzword or is it here to stay? Can hotel be truly eco-friendly without compromising the guest experience? Today, we are exploring the brand that's making it happen.
Through the Looking Glass, Bali, hospitality and beyond. Here, we explore the behind the scene of hospitality through the stories of its leaders.
Potato Head isn't just a beachfront destination.
It's a pioneer in sustainable hospitality, reducing landfill waste to just 0.5%, one of the lowest rates in the world. Today, my guest is Amanda Marcella, Sustainability Director at Potato Head. We will discuss what it takes to build a sustainable and regenerative business, the challenges involved, and what the future of hospitality looks like.
Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us here today.
Pleasure.
So let's start a little bit with your background. Where are you coming from? How long you've been working in Potato Head and how your journey in sustainability started?
Yes, so I come from Jakarta, and this year will be my 7th year working at Potato Head. And before Potato Head, actually I just came back from Paris where I did my master degree there. And of course, during my master degree, I did an internship. And my internship, I work in one of the best chef in the world, in the headquarters of his office. So I have a little bit of background on the F&B, but more in the restaurant and not in the hotel. And also I have a little bit background on bilateral cooperation, so government to government relationship, because previously when I was in Jakarta, I used to work for the French embassy. And yeah, so with the G2G background and a little bit of the restaurant F&B background, I now end up here at Potato Head, where at the beginning I was part of the team who built the Potato Head Studios. I was looking after all the construction of the kitchen and the bars. And for the past 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years, I think I start to go deep into the sustainability part of the company. So yeah, that's where am I today.
Why does this shift happen? How do you think?
I think it's because, of course, the construction is done, so I cannot oversee the kitchen and bar because everything is already set up. And there's this opportunity, especially for me, for myself, to grow and to help the sustainability team and to achieve Potato Head's bigger goal. Of course, I take it because even though I don't have any background in sustainability, but I think it's always nice to learn something, and especially here, I can learning by doing, and it's not textbook because obviously I don't have any background, and my master degree is not even environment, right? But the best thing of working here and doing all the sustainability effort and initiative is because we all together, we're learning by doing it. Like we learn together. Like we know that there is no expert in this field yet, especially here in Bali. So I think that's the beauty of the collaboration. First between your internal team and then interdepartmental, and then of course now you're here to do this podcast interview together with us. Of course, I can learn something else from you as well after this.
How does the Potato Head journey started into sustainability, and why is it so important for the brand?
Yeah, so for Potato Head, actually, we first started the sustainability journey back in 2017. So Potato Head opened in 2010, actually. We first opened the beach club, and then we opened the Potato Head Suites behind us. And back in the days, we call it Katamama, now it's Potato Head Suites. And then 2019, we opened Potato Head Studios. So the journey started back in 2017. And it's because our founder, Ronald Akili, one day he went surfing with his son. And then instead of being covered by the waves of water, they got covered by the waves of waste. And he knew right there, he's also part of this waste problem in Bali, because if you remember back in 2017, we have this biggest waste issues in Bali. So he knew for a fact that having this hospitality industry, we are also part of the problem. So instead of just being part of the problem, it would be amazing if we can always be part of the solution, right? So back in 2017, he started to contact Ecomantra. Ecomantra is Bali-based environmental engineer. So Maitri and Nino, they help us set up everything, starting from the waste management, obviously, and then also oversee the water and the energy, all the possibilities. We started to calculate our carbon emission. So we are carbon neutral since 2017 because we always offset our carbon through the UNFCCC project yearly. And yeah, that's how it started. Start with the waste, and then with the water, we also implement the SWRO system. So we have a bottling system in-house. We try to do everything that is possible just to minimize our impact to the environment.
This is amazing how one person decision, right, actually to which results it can bring in the very end. Sustainability quite often considered or stereotyped as being costly and expensive. Could you give some example how, for example, it's actually how Potato Head profit from sustainability program, and what impact do you have on your P&L?
Yes. I got this question a lot, but for us, we see it the other way around. We see it more like what it will cost us in the future if we don't do it now. Of course, if you heard me saying previously that we start to implement this and that, we have the RO system, it's all the machineries that cost money.
A lot, yeah.
But like I said, if we don't do it now, it will cost us even more. Because now, for example, we've been doing it now about around 8 years, almost 10 years doing it, right? And we already have the bottling system since 2017. So it's already something that we've been doing. Like we don't, for example, we no longer buy candles. I give the example of candles because we make the candles in-house. And it's made out of our used cooking oil. And the container, it's the wine bottle that we cut into two. And of course, we need a little bit of soy wax or coconut wax to make it intact. That's something that we buy. But it's a minimal cost compared to if we need to buy whole candles every other weeks because we use it throughout our property, in the restaurant and also in the room. That's already a cost saving if you see it in the long term. And also a lot of amenities, the room amenities, especially for Potato Head Studios, because the reason why we focus on this is also we were about to open Potato Head Studios, right? And we know that we will have another 168 rooms as a source of the problem, source of waste at least. And we know that we would have around 168 television that comes with the styrofoam, and we know it's a waste with cardboard and everything. So the team back in the days started to do the R&D to make room amenities out of it. So the pink styro shell that we call it styro shell because it's a mix of the styrofoam, oyster shells, some seashells, and recycled plastic just to have the color and the texture. It's something that we made in-house. So imagine we have it throughout our property now, and we're no longer buying it. We're no longer buying trash bin. We're no longer buying tissue box, soap holder, hand sanitizer holders, because we made it in-house.
What's happening with this amenity? Like for how long you can use them, and what's happening after?
I think we can use it as long as possible. Of course, it will break because of the material. It's a little bit some kind of a ceramic, but it's not ceramic because you have the limestone coming from the oyster powder, right? But every time it breaks, we can just remold it again. So that's if we see everything by material, actually each material has a big potential that we can use it in the long run if we know how to use it and if we know how to recycle it. And it happens to be the case of the styro shell is something that we know how to keep on recycle it, upcycle it again.
Yeah, so it's basically a continuous process.
Yes.
That's wonderful. We've been on your sustainability tour. I see that you experimenting a lot, from research and development to supply chain and different ways how to play around with the waste, how to do better with the education. Can you say, can you name some project or anything what was especially notable for the last couple of years? Like what make a big difference for you?
Yeah. I think the biggest project that we had that we launched last year was Community Waste Project. So because we've been doing it since 2017 and we never really shared back in the days about what we're doing because we just do it because we believe in it, right? So the Follow the Way store that you already joined, we launched it 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago. It's because after the pandemic, the tourist behavior changed a bit. They want to have a more sustainable stay, environmental focus place, and stuff like that. So knowing that we already made everything, not everything, most of our amenities in-house, and we have these efforts going on, we would like to share it to people because we want them to get in, to be inspired and replicate it. Because we know that Potato Head, we're just a small, tiny dots on the island. And if we have the goal to be zero waste property and then zero waste Bali, we need a collective effort. We need everyone to do the same. So that's why we have this Follow the Way store for people to be able to join and see and experience firsthand on how we separate and also how we repurpose and upcycle the waste material. And having quite a success for the store for the past 2 years. The bigger dream now is to reach Bali Zero Waste. And it's only made possible when we, again, create this collective mind. It's the same mind people, and then also do it together. And that's the reason why we open Community Waste Project, because we want the other properties also to be able to do what we're doing and have the same goal towards the Bali Zero Waste. And yeah, we were lucky because when we pitched this project to several properties, they're willing to join, even they want to co-found. So this Community Waste Project, it's not only Potato Head because it's under our foundation. We have a foundation called Sweet Potato Project. So this Community Waste Project is under our foundation and is co-founded also by Mexicola Group and also Total Bangun Persada. So Total Bangun Persada is a construction company based in Jakarta who built Potato Head Studios, just to give it a little bit of the context. And yeah, starting from 2 years ago, we started to pitch to a lot of hotels, restaurants for them to join. Because to be able to join, you cannot just join because we don't take mixed waste. It's a bit challenging because when they want to join, they need to be able to implement the same waste management system as we have it here at Potato Head. So that's the reason why Follow the Way store is a good tool for us to show and for them to get inspired. So they would love to join. And until today, we have 7 members because we know that we're not waste expert. We work with a waste operator. So he's been our operator for the past 9 years at least. And he's been in the business for the past 20 years. So he's more expert than us. So that's how we engage the community as well. So he operates, he runs the place. And then now the member, we have Potato Head, we have Mexicola, we have Finn's Beach Club joining as well. We have Pepper Seminyak, the hotel. We have Kind, we have Brunch Club, and we have Lemongrass. And the bigger goal is to add more members this year, but we will only start by semester 2 of this year because there's a lot of adjustment to be made, knowing that we just opened the facility last October. It's been 4 months-ish, 5 months almost. So yeah, that was one of the biggest projects that we launched last year in the hope that people would love to join or people would love to replicate this business model. Because if it's work, meaning that people can just replicate this pilot project, and that's the idea. Again, like for the Waste store, we try to be open source and we don't want to keep it for ourselves because of course it won't work if the goal is bigger than ourselves. We need to build this collective together.
Sharing is caring.
Yes.
This is perfectly fit in this situation. building a community. I guess there is quite of challenging things, the community inside of the company and the community outside of the company. If we're talking about research and development, there is more in the product-based challenges happening, but they, I think, not influence that much on the daily operation, right? But if we're talking about daily operation, especially F&B or housekeeping, right? Implementing sustainability is sometimes quite challenging, considering that's, I mean, first we're starting to measure, right? The important thing, that the second important thing is the people. How do you work with the people, not only within the Potato Head, but also you're working a lot with the farmers, right? With your whole supply chain. What challenges do you face there, and how do you overcome them?
I think it's two different challenges. For the internal challenges, of course, we got audited by Comantra yearly, so we know our performance on the waste and the carbon emission. And from the internal challenges, this year our KPI is to reduce the food waste. So having said that, the challenge internally, even though we have training, we have orientation on sustainability, the challenge is to actually make them understand and do it. The team is super big. We have more than 1,000 employees here at Potato Head. So it's a daily, we have to remind them daily, like in the morning briefing, afternoon briefing, things like that. And we also have, every day, we have waste separation training now. Of course, with 1,000 people, we will achieve, we will finish this training in a year, more or less. But that's the challenge internally. So it's the discipline of the people and whether or not they want to do it. But of course, they need to do it, apply it in their daily working life. And the challenge with the external, because yes, we are now building a collective farmers too, and not only waste. Now we start to look into the source, because we want to have 100% organic supply at Potato Head. This year the target will be 70%, and next year we have to reach that 100%. But actually the goal is not only 100% supply chain. The bigger goal, the same as like Zero Waste Bali, this time is to regenerate Bali soil. Because we know that a lot of farmers, they use pesticides and it ruined the environment, right? So of course we work with both. We work with organic farmers, small farmers, and we also work with the conventional farmers. But they want to work with us, they need to transition their farming method into organic or natural farming or regenerative farming. And we have a farm manager who oversees this project. And we started around July, go to villages, to Madugo, to everywhere in Bali especially, just to talk to the farmers, try to convince them to shift their farming methods. And until up to date, we have around 113 farmers, conventional farmers, who transition into organic farming method or just regenerative farming method. And that's already an achievement for us. And these kind of things won't be made possible if you just sit in your office. Like last year, I went to farm, from farm to farm, because that's the only thing how to do it, right? You have to go and see and meet them, because the human connection is super important.
That's true.
Because if you only call them, you cannot see their body language, you cannot see their face and everything, so you won't know if they convince or not, and it's vice versa for them as well. They won't know whether or not you're being serious, or it's just like, oh, it's just a fun project for Potato Head, right? But we're being very serious on it. And our farm manager, he checks every week. So he's mostly outside, almost never in the office, because knowing that we work with a lot of small farmers, they don't really have the logistic to deliver it to us. So we even rent a chill truck just to collect all the organic producers, go all the way to Badugo, to Baturiti, to where they were and bring it to us.
Wow. What do you think is the biggest concern from the farmers' side to transition? I guess it's not that easy to convince them just saying, hey, let's do good.
Yeah.
Like, what are the biggest concern from them?
Most of them is because, when you grow fruits, vegetables, or produces organically, it's more prone to all the insects and things like that, and it takes more time, and sometimes it's a failed harvest. So their concern is mostly time consuming, and then they're afraid for not being able to get all the produces when they need to harvest.
Right.
So I think, and the way we try to convince them is by saying that, you know what, we give a fair price. So we know that growing an organic produces costs more than produces using the pesticide, right? Because it's more time, more effort, and everything.
More risks.
So we make sure that they will have the fair price, because we also don't want to ruin the price market, if I might say like that. So we know for example, our team knows what is the price for organic carrots. We will give them the same price, but we will make sure that we take everything. So that's their concern as well. Like, okay, we grow this for you, knowing that you work with a lot of farmers. What if you have abundance of produces that you don't need? You won't take it, or you won't buy it, and what you would do? And we said, you don't have to worry, because first, our property is quite big. We have two hotels and one beach club. And second, it's also the idea or the strategy is for our staff to be able to get this source of organic produces as well. So we might be able to give it or sell it to
So
the
you
staff.
distribute it to your team as well?
Yes,
oh, wow.
at the cost price. Or maybe we can start to create a market, or an organic market. Or if we really have that abundance of produces, we can share it with the collective that we have from the waste facility, right? Because, like you said, sharing is caring. And I think if all of this initiative, if you don't do it and you just sit and plan and you don't jump, no one will do it. No one will just say, oh yeah, it's good to have this, it's good to have that. But then you need to actually doing it. So that's how we I think, successfully convinced the farmer to work with us and to transition their farming method from the conventional to the organic farming method.
Wow, that's amazing, really. One thing is the internal processes. Another one is external as a guest, right?
Yeah.
Because another question and concern sometimes when we're talking about sustainability is how to keep the services and operation of the hotel convenient for the customers, and it's also depending how deep you're going with your eco initiatives. People want to see sustainability, people want becoming more conscious, but it feels like they are not ready yet to actually implement in their lifestyle everything what the industry can offer already. Even though simply talking about, for example, here in Asia, I think is the biggest problem, the biggest concern from the guests we facing quite often is that refill of the water. Sometimes they just not feeling like refilling the bottles, and they want to have a plastic bottles or whatever sealed bottles, with the water from the convenience store. How are you working in this direction?
Yeah, of course, when we started in 2017, we started banning single-use plastic entering the property. And of course, when we tell the guests, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, they will say, okay, so what's your solution? Like, we cannot do this, do that, like we pay, right? But when you stay at Potato Head Studios and Suites, during your tune-in process, you will get tumblers and tote bags. Because we're banning single-use plastic, so we have to give the solution. That's the solution that we give to the guests. Like you said, refilling the water bottle. And then the tote bag is for them to bring to the beach, or maybe if they go to the markets, they can put the fruits inside the bag instead of using the plastic bags. And the way we convince them is because actually, even all the product that we have in here, I don't think that we have a bad product or an ugly product. Everything looks so beautiful, in my opinion, here.
It is, yeah.
Including the tumbler. because the tumbler is stainless steel tumbler, and then the cap is made out of the recycled plastic that we make in house. So it's a kind of stylish product, right? And all of the guests, they're more than happy to refill the water bottle. So I think that's the biggest step that we made, the biggest decision that we made back in the days, to distribute it to the guests for free, and they can bring it home. So I think if you or another businesses really want to go towards the sustainability and still afraid that the guests might not like it, oh, we have to think about this, of course there's certain creativity that you have to embed it in all of this initiative to make it more appealing, to make it beautiful, to make guests enjoy it. Because I've never heard a complaint from the guests who said, for example, oh, your trash bin inside the room is ugly, like I don't want it to see, because we try to make it as nice as possible, as aligned with all the furniture as possible, and for the guests just to enjoy it. And without their knowing it, they contributed to it actually, because our menu board is made out of recycled plastic. With the tumbler, they refill, meaning that they don't need to buy a single-use plastic bottle. With the tote bag that they bring outside the property, they don't need another plastic bag if they go shopping, this and that.
Right.
So that's small things that you can give to your guests without them realizing sometimes that it's actually a step forward to have a more sustainable tourism.
I think it's foundation is the education, right? And how you're translating it through your company, I mean, through your team, through your customers, and everyone around.
Because of course they won't listen to you. They said, hey, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. Yeah, so what can I do, right?
Yeah, instead of come and relax, right, you're starting to have a lot of rules and obstacles to your good times. What do you think, like sustainability, and now we even talk about regenerative model, right, for the hotels, for the F&B businesses. What do you think is the main obstacles for the industry itself to achieve some goals, or moving more faster towards more sustainable, more regenerative models of the business?
I think if you say the word faster, I always believe if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, we go together. So it's not about how fast we can achieve this, but how we do it correctly. Because I would like to touch a little bit the topic that I don't really like, but a lot of people say, oh, it's a greenwashing. You do this, you do that, you try to greenwash. But like I mentioned earlier, at Potato Head, at least, we're doing it because we believe in it. Even when we started in 2017, people don't know that we're actually doing it. They just knew mostly after the pandemic, or just right before the pandemic, because it gets noticeable. Like we start to use this, use that, and it's made out of waste or upcycled product. And the challenge for the industry now, it's been 2 years that I speak with several people from different property. They don't know how to start, and they don't know where to start. And sometimes, of course, bigger chain, more global chain, of course, there is a guidelines and brand book. They cannot make the decision themselves here on the island. It has to go to the upper level, which is not here on the island. So local context is also important. And I think the challenge for everyone is that, like, either they really want to do it, but for the company headquarters, sometimes it is not seen as something important, or they don't know where to start and how to start. So for other businesses, sometimes those who belong to a bigger chain, global chain, of course it's hard for them to make the decision when they want to make this change. But also for the smaller company or just local, where it is easier for them to make the decision, sometimes they're reluctant to do so is because they don't know how to do it. They don't know where to start. They don't know what it will cost them to do this, right? But yeah, we're here to share. We're here to tell them everything that they need to know and how to start, where to start. I always said, you just jump and keep on swimming. You just do it because there is no other way. And we're so lucky at Potato Head because it was our founder who initiated all of this. So we have a 100% support from him and from the company. And sometimes, most of the time, I share it with other businesses, with other business owners. Well, you just have to do it. Like when they are scared, because the topic that we always talk about is, of course, waste first, because it's a problem and still is a problem at the moment. That's why we have this follow the waste store, so they can see, they can experience firsthand, and then they will get inspired, and then they will know how to do it. They will know where to start, and then when they want to start or they need help, we're always here. We're open to help them. I always said, like, you can ask us as many questions as you want, because here we're trying to be open source on the sustainability aspect of the company, and we're happy to help.
That's amazing. So basically anyone, any business can just approach you and ask how you guys doing it, and get some examples and working cases from you.
And of course, they have to put it in their, I always said, local context. So for example, maybe because we got a lot of guests coming from outside Bali as well, and outside Indonesia. So I always said, first you have to see the context. What is your problem? Because, for example, if waste is a problem here, and if plastic is Potato Head's problem, or used cooking oil is Potato Head's problem, maybe it's not your problem. So you have to know what is your problem first. And sometimes for the businesses on the island, we can help to identify, just maybe do an assessment to their property, to let them know that actually, oh no, your problem is not the same. Your problem is maybe another thing, right?
Yeah, I think this is the very right way to start it, right? First, because we all starting to looking into the trends, what is mostly talking about in the open sources and the outside in the industry, but it's not always exactly the same, like what we have to do. It's good that you mentioned about the founder support, because I think this is actually the foundation, right? Where is it all coming from? And giving an opportunity to the team to make mistakes and just explore it, as when we are children, right? Like, and we know that we can just play around, mess around, and find some solution, and get even more inspired and more motivated by that. This is a very interesting, and I think this is probably the main pillar of the successful story of the Potato Head. Amanda, if there would be one thing you could change today, what would it be? Maybe not change, but fix. I think fix.
What would I want to fix in terms of sustainability in general? Oh, I know it's hard, but I think I would like to change people's mindset, where they think that, like you said, to make this is trendy, to make that it's trendy, to make this is trendy, without seeing the local context. Because for me, context is super important, because you cannot work and you cannot create something, and you cannot find a solution for something that you don't know, for something that you try to create and make it like it exists, but it doesn't exist. I give an example why I want to change people's mindset. We got guests coming from another country, and they came here, a couple. They said, I want to open a plastic recycling center in my country. How to do it? I said, okay, is it a problem is plastic a problem in your country? No. So why you want to do it? Do you want to bring problem to your country? Do you want to import all the waste to your country? I don't think that's necessary, and I don't think that's wise. So I think if I would like to change something, because then it's a greenwashing, right? The reason why people always use the term brainwashing is because it's not their fault. It's just because sometimes they forgot that they have to look into the context. What is the problem to create a solution? So I think that's something that I would like to change. Don't follow the trend. Just do what it's necessary for you to do.
Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for this beautiful conversation
Thank you.
today morning, and I hope that your example with the Potato Head and the people who's working here can really motivate and inspire more
I hope
businesses
so.
in Bali first of all, and then in Indonesia, and then across the world.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.